What we're going to do is multiply radicals. Last time we were adding and subtracting. When we multiply, we're going to be using FOIL, which you remember is multiplying the first terms, the outer terms, the inner terms, and the last terms. Now, before we get into foiling, what I want to do is just do a quick summary of what we did last time, because if you don't remember how to simplify a radical, it really makes it difficult to multiply. So here we have 12. And we know that 12 is 4 and 3. And the square root of 4 is 2, so it's 2 square root of 3. That's how we're multiplying or simplifying radicals, is we have to find a square number, a number that we could take the square root of. 24 would be 4 and 6. Last time we talked about 3 and 8, but we don't know the square root of either of those numbers, so those are not good ones to choose. 4 and 6, we know the square root of 4 is 2. 5 times 2 gives us 10, so it's 10 square root of 6. For letter C, remember when we're adding, they both have the same square root, so we can add them. Here we have 1, here we have 5, so that's a total of 6. For the next one, we cannot add them because they're not the same. But remember that 27 is 9 and 3. The square root of 9 is 3. So that's 8 square root of 3 minus 6 square root of 3, which gives us 2 square roots of 3. Now, here what we're doing is we're getting into the multiplying. We're not going to FOIL because foiling has to do with binomials. So we're getting there. These are two monomials. Remember, monomial means one term. So we're just going to multiply the outside terms. And what I mean by the outside is the ones outside of the square root. So 4 times 7 is 28. Then we're going to multiply the inside ones. So 3 times 6 gives us 18. Now, 18 would be 9 and 2, and the square root of 9 is 3. So 28 times 3, 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8. So we would have 84 square root of 2. Now we have our binomials, so we're going to multiply our first terms. 5 times 1 is 5. Then we're going to multiply our outside terms, and that gives us negative 5 rad 2. Then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply our inside terms. So that gives us 1 times the square root of 5, or just square root of 5. And then we have square root of 5 times square root of 2, which is negative square root of 10. Now, what we notice is that we have a whole number, a square root of 2, a square root of 5, and a square root of 10. None of these are like terms, so our answer is really complicated. It's this polynomial right here. It has 4 terms. Letter G, we're going to do the same thing. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times negative 3 square root of 2, which is negative 15 square root of 2. 6 square root of 2 times 4 is negative 24 square root of 2. And 6 square root of 2 times 3 square root of 2 is positive 18 square root of 4. Now we know the square root of 4 is 2. So we have 20. What we have are like terms, the 15 and the 24, which is going to give us 39 square root of 2. 2 times 18 is 36, so we're adding 36. 20 plus 36 is going to give us 56 minus 39 square root of 2. So that one simplifies a lot more than the last one. Now for the next one, what we have is squared terms. So here we have a monomial squared. Remember, when we have a squared, we write it again. So that would be 2 square root of 5. Since it's two monomials, we're multiplying our outside numbers, which is 4. We're multiplying our inside numbers, which is 25. And we know that the square root of 25 is 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. Here we have a binomial squared, so we're going to write it again, 3 minus square root of 3. We're going to FOIL it. 3 times 3 gives us 9. 3 times the square root of 3 gives us negative 3 square root of 3. Square root of 3 times 3 is negative 3 square root of 3. And square root of 3 times square root of 3 is positive square root of 9. Now we know that the square root of 9 is 3. So 9 plus 3 would give us 12. And then negative 3 would give us negative 6 square root of 3. For letter J, squared, what we're going to do is we're going to write it again. So that's 7 plus 8 square root of 11. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 8 gives us 56. 8 times 7 gives us 56, square root of 11. And then 8 times 8 gives us 64. And 11 times 11 is 121. Now what we're going to do is we're going to simplify it. So we know that we have 56 plus 56, which gives us 112, square root of 11. 121, the square root of that is 11. So if we multiply 64 and 11, we have 64. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 6 is 6. 0 for the placeholder. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 6 is 6. And so we get 410, and that would be 704. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add the 49 plus the 704, and that gives us 753 plus 112 square root of 11. Okay, those next three, try on your own and see how you do. So for the monomial, 9 times 3 is 27. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. So 27 times 2 is 54. For L, we're going to FOIL it. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times the square root of 7 is negative 3 square root of 7. Square root of 3 times 2 is 2 square root of 3. And 3 times the square root of 7 is negative square root of 21. This is one of those complicated ones that there are no like terms, so we just box that answer. For M, we see a squared, so we're going to put 6 minus the square root of 5. We're going to FOIL it. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times the square root of 5 is negative 6 square root of 5. Negative square root of 5 times 6, once again, 6 square root of 5. And square root of 5 times square root of 5 is square root of 25. We know that the square root of 25 is 5. 36 plus 5 gives us 41. And then that gives us negative 12 square root of 5.